NFC wildcard spot as of right now. Our Dan Graziano is in Tampa with more on Bruce Arians' message to the team this week. What are you hearing, Dan?
Yeah, Sam, the Buccaneers know that they have 4 games left, and that if they win them all, they go to the playoffs, no matter what else happens. I talked to defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh. He said that's what's great about BA is he's really straightforward. So we talk about that all the time, and we know that we control our own destiny. He said, but we also know that Minnesota is one of those teams on the bubble, and if they come in here and, God forbid, get a win, they'll be in a good spot. So we have to make sure they don't do that. On the flip side, I talked to Viking safety Harrison Smith about what Tom Brady looks like versus previous years. And he said, look, they're throwing it downfield a lot more than Brady used to in New England. Probably has a lot to do with personnel and Arians. He said, but, you know, some of it looks familiar. He said those over routes to Gronk look like a couple of guys that have been doing it a long time together. And Sam, as you know, that is exactly what they are.
Yeah, for sure. The question I think this year, and Rex, you've talked about it so much, is are they who they should be right now under Bruce Arians? Look, you've been kind of tough on him, just saying he needs to meld more with what Tom Brady wants to do. What do you think they can do differently today to get this thing righted?
Well, Sam, I mean, Dan's report was amazing. When you hear Harrison Smith, an opponent, saying they're more prone to throwing the ball down the field, they know it's not the answer. Today, man, let's put Tom Brady underneath center. And guys, you know it better than anybody. Nobody prepares better than this guy. This time of year, nobody plays better than Tom Brady. So, to me, put it in his hands. Bruce, let's go right here. But, man, run the football, too. So, it starts with Brady being underneath center. I think we'll see that today. If he's underneath center, good things will happen, whether it's running the ball with Ronald Jones or the play action, the use of play action. Let Brady have an opportunity to get his team into the playoffs. It's not going to be easy today because this Minnesota Viking team, man, I'm telling you, offensively, you want to see a team that knows what they're doing? Watch the Minnesota Vikings. So, tough game today.
Yeah, Rex, I want to see Brady have more control of the offense also, but I don't know if under center is where I'd put him. I sort of want him in, I want to see him in up-tempo. I want to see you an up-tempo, move the field situation in terms of you're calling the plays, you're right there giving everybody what to do because it's what he wants to do at that moment. There was a moment a couple weeks ago in a 2-minute situation. They moved the ball right down the field. Tom was directing everything. He can do that on a regular basis as a change-up, not situationally, but during the course of a game.
Yeah, but I think also, like Coach, you said it, you got to run the football. And Tom Brady, like all quarterbacks, but especially Tom, you have the ability at the line of scrimmage where there's a run play called or you could throw the quick out route. You got to get your runner going. December football, people talk about it all the time. Stop the run and run the football and help the guys up front. Ronald Jones, okay? Ronald Jones is 4th in the NFL in rushing. But in the last 6 games, he's only carried the ball 15 times in one game. Like, let him get off. Let him feed that guy and help that offensive line fire out. So I like what they do with all the check with me at the line of scrimmage stuff with Brady. I do like it, but I just believe they got to be more balanced because he's not a spring chicken. Let the offense, the fullness of the offense work for you. And sometimes when you're a play caller and you're trying to build a relationship with that star quarterback, it's more about like, hey, what do you like? What do you like? What do you like? And you forget about seeing the offense through the lens of the left guard, the right guard, the center, the tackle. Let those guys fire out and cut block and stuff like that. And I think you'll see a much better Tampa Bay offense. Tougher to defend anyway.
Matt, you talked about balance, and that's what the Minnesota Vikings offense has. They have balance led by Dalvin Cook, not Kirk Cousins. But over the last couple of weeks, I'm going to go back to that game where the Kansas City Chiefs exploited the defense, the secondary for the Tampa Bay Bucs. I smell something similar today. Yeah, they're at home, but the Minnesota Vikings have something offensively, man, that I love seeing. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the rookie Justin Jefferson. Right down the first play, they talking about coming out the draft. Can he get off the line? His size? Man, I don't know if you can get your hands on him. Man, look at this second play, and I want you to watch his head and eyes and look at what the DB does. Head and eyes. Look at the DB. He's lost Rex Ryan, scoring touchdowns. Rookie of the year? Man, I see it. Me, Percy Harvin, Sammy White, Justin Jefferson. Man, I love what they're doing in Minnesota. And last but not least, man, there's only one dancer here. Rex Ryan, and that is you. Man, if they let this young Justin Jefferson get in this end zone today, with Dalvin Cook running that ball to play action, man, I'm going to see all this for my birthday boy right here. Man, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not want to see the gritty in their end zone today. Everything that Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen is doing for the wide receivers for the Minnesota Vikings, like I said, it starts with Dalvin Cook. But if you leave this man open with the safety playing a little bit over to Adam Thielen, you watch for big plays coming from Justin
You're
Jefferson.
right. You got to get them all down there. They're going to get Justin Jefferson, Thielen. They're going to get those opportunities like you're talking about.
It is a concern, though, that no Kyle Rudolph out there today. Obviously, one of Kirk Cousins' go-to guys. Irv Smith was questionable, but he will play today. The Vikings have a tough stretch, though. 3 of their final 4 games on the road. On the other side, the Buccaneers, if they can win today, I mean, I know it's just on paper and anything can happen, but it's kind of smooth sailing. Matt, you were talking about Tom Brady in the month of December. Look at his schedule for the rest of the month. At the Falcons, at the Lions, home against the Falcons. Still to come on Countdown. I mean, outside of them building chemistry through video games, why do you think Diggs has been so special so quickly in Buffalo?
Well, I can't relate to all this athletic ability from these receivers and all that stuff. But when I see the grind, I recognize it. It fires me up. And if there was one play that I can show you, you get one play from Brew right here, Stephon Diggs, because he does more than just be a receiver that catches the ball for this team right here. He has bought in totally to Buffalo. On Dawson Knox touchdown pass right here. Look at that.
Nice.
Cut blocking down there. That is a number 1 wide receiver putting his body on the line, cut blocking people, and that's the type of stuff everyone in the league respects more than just the production.
Yeah, laying it on the line for his teammates. He seems to have great chemistry so quickly with those guys. But let's get back to Diana Rossini, who's still in Buffalo. Diana, we're spending all this time talking about the Bills for good reason, but the Steelers, man, they've had a very interesting week, which has been really a series of odd weeks for the Steelers throughout this season.
Yeah, and it seems that the weight has really been lifted off their shoulders after their undefeated season came to an end. I talked to some players about it this past week, and, you know, I had one player put it this way. He said, this is what happens sometimes. When you win and you go undefeated, and Teddy, you know what I'm talking about here, sometimes the flaws are camouflaged. So you take a look at the film, and you don't really pay attention to the detail, but after a loss, you are zoned in on making those improvements, and that's what the focus was this past week. In fact, guys, this was really unusual when I heard this. Mike Tomlin had the Steelers out at practice on Friday in pads. It's mid-December. You don't hear a lot of teams in pads this time of year, especially on a Friday. They are tired of talking about how they need to be better. They want to start playing better, so they were out there. But this also means that they're healthy, right? Because he's not going to put them out there if they're banged up. And, of course, the return of James Conner, center Marquise Pouncey, and Vance McDonald is going to help this run game that really seems lost over the last few weeks and perhaps could return today against this Bills team, Sam.
Yeah, Diana, I mean, full pads on a Friday. Look, everything in 2020 is weird. These guys are getting used to making adjustments. They fly to the game today, the day of a game. That's abnormal. But, Rex, what do you really think the difference in today's game will be?
Well, I think after listening to Diana's report there, I'm excited if I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and I'm going to tell you why. All these short passes, spread them out, short pass and all that. Hey, that's just like our running game. The hell it is. It's not. And now that's why I question this football team. But with Mike Tomlin, he recognizes, look, Mike Tomlin is an old school coach at heart.
Great.
And so to me, this is a great thing that he's doing. If you're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, I'm going to tell you what you have to do. You have to run the football. In all 3 of their losses that they've had, they're averaging giving up 200 yards a game on the ground. That's how you keep Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs and company on the sideline. Run the football, Pittsburgh. That's who you really are. Get out of those other things, please.
And that's why you put on pads on Friday. You got your starting center back in Marquise Pouncey. You get your running back in James Conner, where we need to practice what we're going to be. Mike T's great. He knows what time of year it is, and he knows that if we can't gain 1 yard, we're not going to win a championship, because not only am I trying to throw the ball to make up for it, we got to have receivers that can be reliable. Right?
You know, and speaking of this, the wide receivers for the Pittsburgh Steelers and reliability, You know, have they been able to be relied on in the past couple of weeks? I remember I put a tape together talking about the Yak Boys because of what they did together collectively. But as of lately, man, leading the National Football League, 31 drops as a receiving core.
31.
And Deontay Johnson leads the league in drops. Right there, just showed you Johnson. There you seeing Ebron. Man, I'm great to show you Schuster, Claypool. The pass catchers for the Pittsburgh Steelers, in order to come up big in this game tonight, they're going to have to not live in the past. There's a reason why you put pads on Friday. Man, stop reading your own press clippings. I know I'm looking at my head coach. I'm like, man, pads on Friday? Hey, coach, we got a game in 48 hours. But when, like you said, you have an old school coach in Mike Tomlin. They let a great opportunity slip by of still having that undefeated season. So to me, putting pads on Friday, hey, man, stop reading your press clippings. Let's get back to some Pittsburgh Steelers playing football, and I think they will tonight.
Yeah, when the ball comes your way, you got to catch it. And the same thing could be said for the guys up front. When it's a running situation, it's not just running the ball, Rex. It's running the ball when they know that you're going to run the ball. And that's what the great teams do, and that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers have done for a long time. But I think it's going to be a lot tougher than it's been for them the last couple weeks going up against Buffalo. And part of the reason is that Buffalo's getting healthy. Talk about how great their offense has been. Number one on third down, great in the red zone. The defense hasn't been as good as they've been in the past, right? But this year, they're getting healthy now. They've got Tremaine Edmonds coming back, Matt Milano. When Matt Milano plays for these guys, they're 6-0. When he doesn't play, they're